Welcome to the first episode of the It's Good to Be Different podcast. Each week there'll be a new episode about mental health, what it's like being autistic, my experience, and I might even get some special guests to talk about their struggles. The aim of this podcast is to make people feel like they're not alone, because I know firsthand that even when you're surrounded by people, when you're struggling, you can still feel alone. So first, I will introduce myself. My name is Phoebe and I am an autistic teenager and I struggle with my mental health. I haven't been to school for the last 2 years because of my mental health, and some people think that was a stupid thing to do, but I think it was really brave because you don't know what life will be like when you leave school. Some people also think that because I left school immediately I was okay again, which couldn't be further from the truth. When I was still going to school, I would be up all night worrying and would have panic attacks, which I really struggled with. Especially the first time I ever had one, because I didn't know what was happening. I was at school. I went to the support people at my school, however there was no one there, so I didn't know what to do and I didn't know what was happening. But then it got to a point where my mum didn't think I should go to school if it was causing me that much stress. So I didn't go to school for about a week, and then the school said I have to go in, but I can have a reduced timetable. So I went to school having had no sleep, not eaten, and knowing I would just struggle the whole time I was there. I didn't go to any of my lessons the whole time I was there, and then eventually I found it hard to even get out of bed in the morning, so I stopped going to school again. Then the school I went to said to me, "Do you see yourself coming back here, or would you rather go to a special needs school?" And I thought maybe if I went to a special needs school, where everyone there is a little bit different and maybe even autistic, I would feel normal, because going to a mainstream school and being autistic, you have to mask or you'll get made fun of. Can you imagine how it feels to feel every different part of your uniform, the collar on your neck, see all the lights, hear all the different sounds, have to take in everything the teacher's saying even though your brain needs a break every so often, feel the uncomfortable shoes on your feet, hear the sound of people screaming outside and the noise of the chairs no one else seems to be able to hear. And then, on top of all of that, you have to pretend you're someone you're not so that no one adds to the stress by laughing at you or saying things about being autistic, even though they know nothing about what it's like to be in your shoes. It's draining. So when I got to year 9, I couldn't do it anymore. When I stopped going to school, I think even some of the people in my family were thinking, why in the world can you not just go to school and learn and go home without making it look hard? But I guess they just didn't get it at first. If you asked them now though, they'd probably say it was one of the best decisions my parents made to let me stay off school for a little while. Even when I stopped going to school though, I wasn't just automatically fine. I still didn't sleep at night. I was always out on walks because that was the only time I was calm, and I still wasn't eating properly. I was basically a zombie. I know I'm not normal, but maybe if I went to a school where everyone was neurodiverse, I could feel normal because that's the normal there. So I went to a special needs school from October to July of year 10, and I had a really bad time. I was barely in, and if I wasn't in lessons. Eventually I went to a smaller special needs school, but that wasn't good either, and I felt like this school just wanted the money and didn't want to help people. So the next school year I wanted a tutor to come to my house, so we had an appointment with the EHCP people and they decided whether or not to let me have a tutor. I thought it would be a good idea since I hadn't been going to school for the last 2 years and it would help me learn something considering I have my GCSEs this year. So now I have a tutor that comes to my house, and I'm not doing my GCSEs this year since I've missed so much school and it would be a lot of stress over nothing. So I'm doing them in college next year. I've already got a place in the special needs college, and now I'm on anxiety medication, but even now some days are hard. But trust me, it gets better even if you don't think it will right now. I think every week I will end the podcast with a quote for the week. This week's quote is, "You have to be odd to be number one." I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. See you next week.